use contractors and grantees for surge, as a surge workforce that we can call on during wartime and economic crisis. The federal workforce has been remarkably steady. We have a blended workforce. It's not going away. The question is how we use it. And we've had this blended workforce from the very founding of our government, our Constitution. The government-industrial complex, this piece of research that I've written, is basically asking how big is the federal government. There are things that we're doing in the federal government right now that ensure that we will be dependent on contractors into the future. We've got skill gaps. The federal government has a sluggish process. We're going to talk about it. We don't know very much about the contract and grantee workforce, and we know very little about whether the actual work is inherently governmental in a way. The non-defense government-industrial intersection is larger in total than the defense component. This is the federal workforce over time. You get periods of time, I mean, after 1950, you get some movement up and some movement down, but great stability over time. This year, federal headcount's going to go up 70,000 FTE. Now, this is a president who promised not to do that, and it's all because of the census. The thing we got to do here to get some good estimates is to convert dollars into headcount, and that is really hard. Each one of these grant and procurement, these contracts and grants, can be linked to a North American industrial classification code. What drives movement back and forth between the government workforce? Demographic pressures, bureaucratic pressures, and political pressures. You know, use a contract to purchase labor. Why would delays in hiring matter? Because you got to get the work done. So this is a bureaucratic pressure that forces the federal government a little bit into contracting in lieu of federal employees, and that's what we want to be thinking about. We can see in side-by-side surveys that the federal government is trailing the private sector in terms of overall workforce satisfaction. Federal employees are always less expensive than, almost always less expensive than contract employees for the same job classification. It's the overhead. The federal government does not pay overhead. Congress couldn't write a good bill on this issue if Congress's future depended on it. The staffs have been eviscerated. The investigations process has been deeply damaged.